friend, my name is Dr.Umesh Ghodeswar. Welcome to all research scholars in the Sri Shivaji College of Arts, Commerce and Science. Today we will discuss the review of literature second part. In this lecture, we will discuss some important topics. First, step for writing a literature review. Second, preparing written literature. And last, points to be considered for a literature review. Step for writing a literature review. There are 5 stages in the steps for writing a literature review. First stage is annotated bibliography. Important part or important stage. At this stage, researcher read articles, books, then other any types of literature related to the topic of research and write a brief critical synopsis of each other. After going to the reading list, researcher will have a notation of each source of related material or related literature. Later, annotation are likely to include more reference of other work since previous reading will be available to compare, but at this point the important goal is to get accuracy also or accurate. Second step or second stage, thematic organization. Look at thematic organization. At this stage, researcher try to find two common themes of research topic, more nearly research topic or theme, and organize the literature under these themes, sub-themes or categories. Here, researcher try to organize the literature under the themes which related to each other and are arranged in a chronological order or chronological manner. Researcher tried to establish coherence between themes and literature discussed under these various themes also. Then second stage, more reading. Look at stage 3, more reading. Based on the knowledge gained through primary reading, researchers have a better understanding about the research topic and the literature related to it. At this stage, researchers try to discover specific literature, materials relevant to the field of a study or research methodologies which are more relevant for their research. They look for more literature by those authors or those methodology, etc. Also, the researcher may be able to set aside some less relevant areas or articles or any papers or any thesis dissertation they pursue initially. They integrate the importance in this stage. They integrate the new readings into their literature review draft. Recognize themes and read more and more. This stage 3, what we will do? More reading to the nearly about our topic research or nearly review reports or any other types of your literature. Then fourth stage. In this fourth stage, make individual section. Look at make individual section. At this stage, researcher start writing the literature under each thematic section by using previously collected draft of annotations. Here, they organize the related articles under each themes by ensuring that every articles is related to each other. Furthermore, related articles may be grouped then together by ensuring the coherence between different segments of a literature abstracts too. For each thematic section, look at, for each thematic section, draft annotation are used to write a section which discuss the articles relevant to the theme. And last stage, integrate section. In this section, researchers have a list of thematic section and they tie them together with an introductory part, conclusion part, and some addition and a revision in the section to show how they relate to each other. How they relate to each other to the overall theme. Then, second point we are discussing, this is preparing written literature. Preparing written literature means in this writing process of literature review, we should focus on the some points and they are covered to how preparing the written literature. First, writing the introduction. While writing the introduction, you should follow some important steps that define or indefine the general topics, issue or areas of concern, thus providing appropriate context for the reviewing the literature. Then points out overall trends in what has been published about the topic or conflicts in the theory, methodology, evidence, and the conclusion or gaps in the research and any types of your related work. Establish the writer points of view for reviewing the literature also. Then following step is writing the main body of the literature review. Following the measures need to be undertaken while writing the body of literature. Group research studies and other type of literature like as reviews, theoretical articles, case study also. According to the common denominators such as qualitative versus quantitative approaches. Conclusion of authors, then specific purpose of their objectives, then chronology and various types of written material. We should focus on these same points. Then summarize individual studies or articles with as much or as a little detail as merits according to the comparative importance, and assist the research or assist the reader with strong umbrella sentence at the beginning of paragraphs, signpost throughout, and brief of the so what summary sentence at the intermediate points also. Then preparing written literature. Next part is writing the conclusion. The points to be taken care of in the conclusion are as follows. First, summarize the major contribution of the significant studies and articles to the body of knowledge under the review. Then, maintaining the focus established into the introductory part. Then, evaluate the current state of the art for the body of knowledge, pointing out of the methodological part or any types of gaps in the research. Then issue pertinent the future study also. And last, conclude by providing some insight into the relationship between central topic of the literature. Then in this lecture we will discuss about the main topics, that is points to be considered for literature review. specific main points we should focus in our literature review. First is be specific and be briefing. Specific means very specific, brief statement. Briefly state specific findings listed in an articles or any types of your research literature work. Then specific methodology used in the study or other important points. Literature review are not placed for long quotes or in-depth analysis of each point. Listen carefully. Literature review are not placed for long quotes or any depth analysis of each point. It should be brief or specific writing. Then be selective. Be selective. Researchers should narrow down a lot of information into the small space for literature review. Just the most important points must be mentioned in each work of review. We should be selective material of the research review. Third is focus on current topics. Focus on current topic. Researcher need to analyze point such as if it is current articles, and if not, how old it is, has its claims, evidence or arguments been suspended by more recent work. It is not current, then it is important for historical background too. Then ensure evidence for claims. Most important, ensure evidence for more claims. Researcher should focus on what support is given for claims made in literature work. What evidence and what type of evidence are offered. What types of means? Experimental or statistical or any types of literature work. It is evidence relevant and sufficient. What arguments are given? What assumptions are made? And are they warranted? This is the main question we should ask. Focus on sources of evidence. It is also important. Researchers should ensure the reliability of sources of evidence or other information if they are from authors' own experiments, survey, historical records, government documents, etc. He or she should check whole work of the research related to your particular topic also. Then points to be considered for literature review, that is reference citation. Any reference site in the literature review must be included in the bibliography section. The common practice is that the reviewers does not list reference in the bibliography part that are not directly cited in the literature review elsewhere in the paper or your thesis. Then avoid abbreviations. Avoid technical terms or jargons or any other abbreviation. You should avoid abbreviation in writing your literature review. Then simple and accurate sentence structure. You should write simple and accurate sentence in your particular literature review. A researcher should use a simple sentence, your own sentence, simple and own sentence, and must avoid errors, grammar and punctuations too. It is very important. And these types of we discuss some important topics of literature review. In this next part, we will focus other important parts of literature review. Thank you for watching this channel. Please like and share and also subscribe this channel. We will discuss the next part of literature review in the next lecture.